If you're joining, let me know where you're joining from. Tonight, I want to talk about, I'm going to talk about a couple different things. Some of it is going to be our expectation for our future. Some of it is going to be why are we in the place that we're in? And a lot of times it has to do with our expectation of our future. So we're going to talk about it tonight. Yes, you hear me clear. What up, BLD? What's up? What's up? So, how many of you have been trying to, what's up, Alexia? Good to see you, love. How many of you have been in a place recently where, you've been having some ideas come to your mind, but you haven't necessarily been, giving that idea the value and the worth that it actually brings. Let me break this down. I believe that sometimes when God is trying to bring something to us, he introduces it by an idea. And I think a lot of times we're wondering what's going to be that breakthrough for us. And sometimes it's the idea that we have overlooked. It's the idea that we have pushed to the side because in our minds we think to ourselves, how is that going to work? I don't have time for that. I don't have the resources for that. And so sometimes we don't even realize God has given us $1 million ideas. But those $1 million ideas can't come to fruition unless we decide to take the idea and say, God, I realize that this is a seed that I'm supposed to go ahead and actually water and actually work. I got to water it and I got to work it. And so I really want to talk about like, how do we now snatch these ideas? And I'm gonna give you an example. So more recently, I had this idea and I kept saying to myself, I don't have the time for it. Like I would love to do it. I'm very passionate about it, but I don't have the time for it. I don't even understand how that fits with what I'm currently doing, but I'm really passionate about the idea. And so what ended up happening was it kept coming back to me. And I realized like there's a reason why this idea keeps coming back to me. And so I had to take some time to ask myself, am I looking at this wrong? Am I disregarding and discrediting this idea? What if this is a heaven sent idea that could be $1 million idea? It could be the idea that causes breakthrough in my life, right? But because in my mind, in my natural mind, I'm pushing it away, I'm actually disqualifying myself for what's next. And I think what happens is we have these ideas of how things are going to go. We have these ideas of how things are going to play out. And we think it's going to be a particular way. So it's like, well, God, I'm already going live. I'm already, doing these videos and I'm doing this. He was like, yeah, but I'm trying to get you to see this because it's going to be the unconventional way. It's going to be the idea that only God could get the glory because you try to push it away so many daggone times. You knew it wasn't necessarily your idea. Where did it even come from? It had to have come from on high, because you couldn't even came up with this idea in your own understanding. And so I just got this idea, and I was sitting, and I had to actually call my brother, and I was like, "El, what do you think about this?" And he was like, "China, that's dope." My brother, he calls me China. He's like, "China, that's dope. What do you mean? Like you don't know if you want to do it?" And I was like, I don't know if I have the time." He was like, "You don't have the time not to." Sometimes we don't realize that these things are so much in alignment, but it's the way in which we're looking at it. And so what I want everybody to think about is, what is that one idea that keeps coming back? And I would love to do it. It's actually something that doesn't even require me to come out of myself, so to speak. It's something I actually naturally do. It's just the way in which I'm going to be doing it is going to be different. What is that one idea? And now we have to go into a place where we first check it. Like, let's go ahead and review. Let's go ahead and think about all the ideas. How do you think God's going to get you a wealth transfer or a newness in your life? He's going to introduce it by a thought. He's going to introduce it by an idea. So the first thing I would say is check and review. Write down every idea that you've been getting more recently that just keeps kind of coming back, but you're looking at it wrong. Could I be looking at it wrong? Could my perspective and my expectation of it be wrong? And the next thing we need to do is to just challenge it. Just challenge it and think about all the other ways that we could potentially do this thing and just see. I always tell people, we can't make anything true, specifically negatively, if we never try. We can't make anything true until we at least try it. And so what I said, I was like, you know what, before I just throw this thing away, let me put this on paper. Let me see this thing because it's in my mind, but I need to see it on paper so I can get an understanding of like, okay, let me just see, okay, God, let me put this on paper and see exactly what you're saying. Let me get some clarity. Let me get some definition. And so I went to start just writing down, okay, this is what I kind of see. I mean, the one thing that you can kind of know that it's a God idea is the level of hypeness. It's the level of excitement. Now here it is. I'm trying to throw this idea away, but I'm like, I feel hype about it, right? How many of you have an idea that you've thrown away, but it actually excites you? It gets you hype. Thank you, Lorna Ray. It's the ideas that can transform your life. It's the ideas that God is trying to introduce into your mind that he wants to see flourish in your life. So what are the ideas that we're pushing away? The ideas, because they don't fit the mold, we don't give it any opportunity to breathe, to have life within us. And so as I was thinking about this idea, I was just like, there's so many things that could be benefit. Like there's so many people that could benefit from this idea. The idea that God is going to give you is for others. I always tell people your gift is for giving. It's not for hiding. It's not for just sitting on it and just hoping that, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes we kind of think that somebody will see the greatness in us and help blow us up or help, you know what I'm saying, discover us. Like God is just like, I need you to discover you, because in you discovering you, you will not discredit who you are, and you'll begin to give your gift, and you won't be concerned about the judgment and or the rejection, potential rejection of your gift. So how do we recognize that the gift, not only is it for giving, but the gift also, it actually fulfills us as we give it. And so I always talk about like how there's just this fear and this trepidation for the things that we have that God has called us to give, because we have to recognize that it's not for everybody. So even this idea that God has given me, some people may criticize it and they may think, but guess what? That just means it's not for them. And it's more important that you hone in on who you are, discover who you are, and don't look for anybody to discover you, and go give the gift to those who need it, than to just act as if you don't even have it to begin with. So what is it? I know I'm going all over the place, but what does it even look like to discover who you are, so much so that you're unapologetic about serving your gift? How do you get to that place? That place has to come from a place of clarity. That place has to come from a place of revelation of God telling you, this is who I've created you to be. This is what I've given you to give. And this is the idea and the way in which I want you to administer that gift. It's going to be unconventional. It's not going to fit a mold. It's not even going to fit the mold that's even in your mind. It's going to be like, you want me to... Let me give an example. For me to come to Phoenix, Arizona, which is my birthplace, to move back, to do natural hair in Arizona, when if y'all ever been to Phoenix is 6%. I think Phoenix, don't have me lying. I think it's 6% or 13% black. For God to have me move back, and I'm talking about 2003, and told me to open a natural hair salon, it did not make sense. It broke a mold. There was nobody even really, first of all, ain't that many of us to begin with. And it wasn't that many wearing their hair natural. But what he wants to do is he's calling you to be a trailblazer, a pioneer, a game changer. And that means that these ideas, come on, will not necessarily make sense to your circumstance because he's calling you to introduce something new. Yep. You already know. You already know. Alexia, you was there. You was bringing your daughter, and it was an oasis in the desert. It was fresh. We are called to do a fresh thing, a new thing. And so when we get a new idea and we're judging the idea because we haven't seen anything else that looks like it, and we're looking for something in the marketplace to resemble it, to therefore validate it. God is saying, I'm calling you to be the forerunner. You won't see anybody else doing it. So many things God has called me to do has been completely counter to anything I've ever seen in the market. And it was because I didn't realize at the time he was calling me to be a trailblazer. But how can we blaze trails if we're waiting for validation, if we're waiting for approval, if we're waiting for the idea to have some sort of something that looks like it? And God is like, no, I don't want you to do anything I don't want you to be anything that looks like anything out here. I need you to be authentic. I need you to be rare. And I need everything that you bear to be rare. But that only comes from the ideas that we're shoving away. What's up, brochure? So what ideas are we pushing away because they don't fit the mold? Because we fear that they'll even be accepted because we haven't seen anything in the marketplace that looks anything like it. Trust me, it will be accepted. Trust me, somebody's looking for exactly what you do, exactly how you do it. Because the one thing I've been telling people, I was like, what social media has done is it's given voice to relevant, representation. There was once upon a time where all we seen was what was on TV, and we already know what was the representation on TV. It was barely anything that looked like us, barely anything that looked like you, and so therefore we're being sold and we're being told. Whatever that may be. If we're hearing something, we're hearing it from a perspective that was not ours. Now we have social media, and we now have people that actually speak our language. There's a sound that resonates because there is a representation of something that looks and feels like me. Somebody is looking for you in a way in which it looks and feels like them. But if you don't show up in the marketplace and be your different and distinct self, there will be a group of people that will be missing out. There will be an audience that will never be able to connect because they haven't found the. I mean, have you ever seen some not necessarily weird stuff, but stuff is just like, oh my goodness, this feels just like me. This fits me, whatever it may be. That means that creator or whoever that person was decided to do something that was so different, taking a chance on themselves to connect with an audience they didn't even know was there. And some of you right now are called to do that. And some of you are not paying attention to the idea that has been given to actually do that thing. What is the idea? What image does God keep giving you that excites you, but you just like, I don't know about that. Oh, it's that one. How can we blaze trails when we're waiting for validation? Yes, Paula. So the purpose of this live tonight is to help you understand that there are downloads that come from the spiritual realm, that come from heaven, where God is saying, I have brought you into this realm to be used by me in an authentic and a unique way. And as you get in alignment and you start to receive, what you're going to do is you're going to lead by following. By following these instructions, I'm going to give you some mind-blowing stuff that's going to challenge your understanding, challenge your faith. But as you do it, you're going to shift trajectories for your family. He's going to blow your mind in the process, because you're going to be like, this feels so me. It feels so right. And it's serving a need. Y'all hear me? What is the idea? I need somebody right now. It don't even have to be that many people. One person. Type the idea that you know it right now. It's an idea that you've been given. It keeps coming back. It excites you but scares you at the same time. And you just keep pushing it away. What is that idea? I'm gonna wait for a comment. What is the idea? And yeah, I'm coming for you tonight. Yes, I am. Help single woman. Come on. Now, so you know what's so good is that we hear this and we may see it as something that is just cliche. But so much of what we're called to do is in what we've already overcome. So much of what we're called to do is what we've already overcome, or something that we've been through, whether it's a mother who has experienced something, or a widow who is a widow. It may be called to now go serve women to help them recognize, how do they now transition back into their lives? How do they reacclimate? Collaboration of Black-owned businesses. I hope this is not the only place that you've written this idea. This idea needs to now go into a paper, into a book, into a place where you can expand and get definition for what that is. Write the books and take up space. Come on. Because if you never write the book, who will not be able to learn from the wisdom that God has given you specifically through your voice and through your life? Express more of the pain that I've overcome and share the things that aren't always talked about. Write the books. Absolutely. Okay. Distractions are real, for sure. So what is it that, even if you don't know what the idea is, what is it that you have overcome that you're now supposed to go and help somebody else? And I mean, not overcome in a place where you're bleeding on people. You still ain't got the healing yet. But God has truly brought you through. You are healed, and He is calling you to go back and speak to that audience. Go back and offer them a product. Go back and offer them resources. Go back and in that, He's going to multiply you, because now you're giving. And your gift makes room. It expands. It brings, it allows you to grow. What is the idea? So now, so the y'all got me stuttering over here. So take the idea and begin to journal about the idea. Get excited about the idea. I mean, give it high definition. Take your idea to the IMAX theater. Let it come alive, and then pray over that thing and say, God, I don't know if this is what you're calling me to do, but I pray for confirmation. I pray that you begin to give me even greater direction concerning this. And I believe that as you journal it and you get excited, what you're doing is you're building momentum. You're actually showing Him that you believe. You're actually saying, okay, I'm taking this seed and now I'm actually doing something with it. I'm just saying, y'all, what's the idea? Y'all got the ideas. We have to check it. We have to challenge it, and then we change it. We have to check our expectation. We have to check all the ideas that He's been giving us. We have to check and challenge this expectation. Am I wrong for thinking that I can't do this? Am I wrong for being afraid so much so that it paralyzes me that I just throw it away? And now let's change. Let's say, never mind, you know what, God, let me change my mind. Let me get in agreement with what you're saying. Let me get hype like you hype. Let me believe, instead of thinking that it's nothing, let me believe that it's actually everything. Let me believe that it has the potential to grow, that this is a seed. And not just a seed, this is not even just a plant or a tree, this is a forest. This is something that's going to continue to expand. It's going to continue to grow. It's going to continue to bear fruit to bless others. What's up, Jay Infinity? So if you've been on this live, a quick little drive-by, and you missed it, this live will be on YouTube. If you're not subscribed to my YouTube, make sure you go to YouTube and subscribe. You can go to the link. Also, download my ebook, Becoming Authentically Bold. In order for us to take these ideas and allow God to do what he wants, put his super on our natural, we have to be authentic. We have to be bold. These are two things that are, I don't know why I always be losing words, y'all. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You can't do it without it. They are a must. You have to be authentic. You have to be you. If I was not showing up in a way in which you thought I was like real, if I was not showing up in a way where you thought like, okay, this is Essence. Essence is not, this is just who she is. More than likely you would just be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go listen to somebody else. There's an authenticity because I don't know how to be nobody else. I know how to be shy. But even in my shyness, like, you're still going to get aspects of me. But I realize that my shyness, come on, God, my shyness does not benefit me. My introvertness really does not benefit me when it comes to me being bold and doing the things that God has called me to do. So at some point, I have to take off the introvertness. At some point, I have to take off the shyness. At some point, I have to take off the insecurities because it's not about me. And when we shift our focus, when it comes to these ideas that we've been given, and we really realize it is so not about us. It's so not about, oh, I don't know how I'm going to be perceived when I get on social media. I don't know how my voice projects. I know I'm loud. I know I talk fast. I know I'm silly. I don't know if people going to like that. Okay, if they don't, oh well. You have to get so comfortable with you. The unique and authentic way that God has made you, so much so that you are not holding back. You are not shying away because you can't connect if you shy away. You can't make the impact that he's called you to make. He has brought you through so many great things. The reason why I talk with so much tenacity and so much confidence is because I was you. I know y'all think I'm just so confident and so easy to get on camera. No, a few years ago, and even more, I didn't feel confident getting on camera. Please. I had to change my mind about who God called me to be. You have to change your mind on who he's called you to be. We don't have time to be scared. So we have to be authentic and bold. I guess my whole purpose was telling you that. Was to tell you, go download Becoming Authentically Bold. You can click the link in the bio for that. But you have to have those things. And that's why I talk in this way, because we need it. And I know that you can transform. I actually have a coaching program coming up to help women transform so they can now go transform others. If you don't go through your own transformation process, if you don't get past your own insecurities, how are you going to help anybody? If you can't believe the idea that you've been given, how you going to give it? If you can't receive it, how somebody else going to receive it? Anywho, y'all, I pray you all have a blessed night. I'm going to pray us out really quickly. And again, if you missed this live, go to YouTube. It'll be live in a second after I get off this live. And yeah, this is for those who are looking for what's next for you, and you may not even realize that God has already given you the idea. It's those whispers. It's those ideas that just, they don't really make sense. But God is saying that in order for me to get the glory, it's not going to be an idea that makes sense to you. It's not going to be something that you come up with. No, it's going to be you understanding what his will is for your life and what he's designed you to do. And he's going to give you an idea. And as he gives it to you, you just say yes to it. So, Father, I just thank you for this evening. I thank you for each and every person who is on this live, oh God. I thank you, oh Lord, that you download your divine thoughts and ideas into us, oh God, that we may take it and run with it, oh Lord. So, Father, I just thank you that every idea that you have given us, that we have not thrown it away. I thank you that even if we have, that we have taken it back and put it on paper, Lord, and said, I'm not sure why you're giving this to me, God, but I thank you that you've given it to me. And I just ask that you give me the wisdom on how to walk it out. Help me, oh God, to get clarity. Help me to get definition, oh God. I thank you, oh Lord, that you make all your promises true, Father. You don't leave us. You don't just bring us here to not know exactly what it is that you've called us to do. But as we get close to you, oh God, you will reveal the secret things to us. So I thank you that you reveal your secrets to your children. I thank you, Father, that you give us greater definition and clarity. And I thank you that you remove insecurity. I pray that, Father, you infuse us with confidence, oh God. I pray, Father God, that we don't allow ourselves to be compared to others and what other people are doing. Even if somebody else is doing it, Father, they are not doing it the way that you have called us to do it. So I thank you, oh God, that you're giving us a boldness and you're causing us to walk in authenticity. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right, y'all. Peace, y'all. Have a good night. Bye. As I try to end this live. Good night.